Wasted career? Ken Hodge didn't just fight opponents, he fought expectations his whole life. This is the story of a man who was supposed to be a bruiser, but became one of hockey's greatest scorers. And along the way, he threw some of the most memorable punches in NHL history. Picture this. November 1967, Toronto Maple Leafs versus Boston Bruins. Brian Conacher clips Bobby Orr in the face with his stick. Blood everywhere. Johnny McKenzie jumps Conacher from behind and starts throwing punches. Orr gets up, pulls McKenzie off, and starts hitting Conacher himself. Then Ken Hodge skates over and sucker punches Conacher while he's not even fighting back. That moment changed everything. Orr got booed in Toronto for the rest of his career because of that fight. But here's the crazy part. Ken Hodge wasn't supposed to be in that fight at all. He wasn't supposed to be throwing punches or playing enforcer. He was supposed to be scoring goals. Lots of them. Ken Hodge was born in Birmingham, England in 1944. His family moved to Toronto when he was young. At 6'2" and 214 pounds, he looked like a hockey player should look. Big, strong, intimidating. The Chicago Blackhawks signed him as a teenager. He was undrafted. In junior hockey with St. Catharines, Hodge was putting up monster numbers. In 1964-65, he led the league in goals and points with 123 points in just 65 games. But when Chicago brought him up to the NHL, they had other ideas. They saw his size and thought one thing: enforcer. They wanted him to be their grinding policeman. For 2 seasons, that's exactly what he did. He played 132 games and scored just 16 goals and 42 assists. Chicago had no idea what they had. On May 15, 1967, everything changed. Chicago made what would become one of the worst trades in hockey history. They sent Ken Hodge, Phil Esposito, and Fred Stanfield to the Boston Bruins. In return, they got Pitt Martin, Gilles Marat, and Jack Norris. In Boston, Ken Hodge finally got to show what he could really do. His first season in Boston, he scored 25 goals and 31 assists. The next year, playing on a line with Phil Esposito and Ron Murphy, Hodge exploded. Goals, 45 assists, 90 points. That line broke the NHL record for most points by a forward line. But Ken Hodge wasn't done yet. In 1970-71, he set a new league record for points by a right winger with 105 points. Goals, 62 assists. He finished 4th in league scoring. Want to know something incredible? The top 4 scorers in the NHL that year all played for Boston. Phil Esposito had 152 points, Bobby Orr had 139, Johnny Busick had 116, and Ken Hodge had 105. 4 teammates in the top 4 spots. That had never happened before, and it's never happened since. 3 years later, Hodge did it again. Goals, 55 assists, 105 points. He became the first player born outside Canada to score 50 goals in a single NHL season, and he finished 3rd in league scoring behind only Phil Esposito and Bobby Orr. The Bruins were playing what they called fire wagon hockey: fast, aggressive, high scoring. Ken Hodge was a huge part of that style. He used his size not just to fight, but to create space for his teammates. He'd throw big body checks to open up lanes for Esposito. He'd park himself in front of the net and cause chaos. But here's where things get complicated. Boston fans didn't get it. They saw this big, strong guy, and they wanted him to fight all the time. They wanted their grinding policeman back. When Hodge focused on scoring instead of fighting, some fans actually booed him. Can you believe that? They were booing a guy who was putting up 100 points a season. Ken Hodge dealt with those boo birds his entire career in Boston. Fans wanted him to use every ounce of muscle to bang away the opposition. Instead, he was setting up plays and scoring goals. The disconnect between what fans expected and what Hodge actually did created tension that never went away. The fights were still there, though. HockeyFights.com lists dozens of fights throughout his career. February 27, 1977 against Larry Robinson. January 2nd, 1975 against Dave Hutchison. November 3rd, 1974 against Fred Stanfield, his old teammate. October 17, 1974 against Bobby Clarke. The list goes on and on. Ken Hodge never backed down from a fight, but fighting wasn't his main job anymore. Scoring was, and he was really, really good at it. The problem was consistency. Hodge had a pattern of following monster years with below-average campaigns. After his 90-point season in 1968-69, he dropped to 54 points the next year. Injuries played a big part in this. In 1971-72, he was slowed down by injuries and only played 60 games. Later, he returned too soon from a knee injury in October, and it wasted his entire season. The fans and media didn't understand. They thought he was being soft or not trying hard enough. The coaching staff didn't help either. Harry Sinden was always on his case. Don Cherry, who came later, didn't get along with Hodge at all. All of this tension came to a head in 1976. The Bruins traded Ken Hodge to the New York Rangers for Rick Middleton. Boston thought they were getting a younger, faster player. New York thought they were getting the old Ken Hodge magic back by reuniting him with Phil Esposito. Ken Hodge's time in New York was disappointing. He had modest success in his first year with 62 points, but his performance tailed off quickly after that. In 1977-78, he was sent down to the minor leagues. The New Haven Nighthawks of the AHL, a former 50-goal scorer, was now playing in the minors. Meanwhile, Rick Middleton became a star in Boston. He was 10 years younger and a much faster skater. The trade that was supposed to help the Rangers actually made the Bruins better. It became known as one of the most lopsided trades in NHL history. Ken Hodge retired after that season, then came back briefly in 1979-80 to play for the Binghamton Dusters. After that, he was done for good. But here's the thing about Ken Hodge's legacy. He might have been overlooked compared to guys like Bobby Orr and Phil Esposito, but he was a key component of that offensive juggernaut. The Bruins won 2 Stanley Cups with Hodge in 1970 and 1972. He was a first-team All-Star in 1971 and 1974. More importantly, Ken Hodge helped change how hockey was played. The fire wagon style that he and the Bruins pioneered influenced the entire league. High-speed, high-scoring hockey became the new standard. The NHL started promoting offense more because of what Boston was doing. That style of play also created an explosion of hockey in New England. More rinks were built, more kids started playing. College programs grew. Hockey became a major sport in a region where it had been an afterthought. Ken Hodge didn't just fight on the ice. He fought stereotypes and expectations. He proved that big players could be skilled players too. He showed that you could be physical and creative at the same time. After retirement, Hodge stayed involved in hockey. He worked as a broadcaster for Boston College games and NBC Sports. He spent over a decade teaching skills to players from youth leagues to professionals all across New England. His son, Ken Hodge Jr., also made it to the NHL. He was drafted 46th overall in 1984 and had a strong rookie season with Boston in 1990-91. 30 goals, 29 assists, 59 points playing on a line with Cam Neely. He made the all-rookie team. Ken Hodge Sr. finished his career with 328 goals and 472 assists for 800 points in 880 regular season games. In the playoffs, he had 34 goals and 47 assists for 81 points in 97 games. Those are Hall of Fame numbers. Even if he's not in the Hall of Fame, he's still ranked among the top scorers in Boston Bruins history. His number isn't retired, but his impact on the franchise is undeniable. The fights, the goals, the Stanley Cups, the records. Ken Hodge did it all. He was a fighter by necessity, but a scorer by design. He proved that you don't have to choose between skill and toughness. You can have both. Looking back, Ken Hodge's career wasn't wasted at all. It was complicated, sure, but it was also brilliant. He helped revolutionize hockey while throwing some of the most memorable punches in NHL history. If you grew up watching that Bruins dynasty, drop your favorite Ken Hodge memory in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more deep dives into hockey's forgotten legends.